I do believe that we are
Mhm.
all libraries burning, right? Like we
Yeah.
are all having stories that only we can tell, right? And when we're gone, they go with us. I'm trying to make as many opportunities to learn more intentionally about all the people in my life, and
Mm.
want people to know my story so that when I'm no longer here, they can speak my name in all of the
Mhm.
ways that they can. Um, and I hope to be able to do the same for my friends and family.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the fifth season of In the Telling, a global Black family podcast. I am Miranda Mims, and I am joined by my wonderful co-host, Stephen G. Fullwood, and
Hello.
we are the founders of the Nomadic Archivist Project. Stephen's going to take us into a little bit about who our guest today is for In the
Our
Telling.
very special guest. Yes.
A
Hi,
very special
everybody.
guest.
Our very special guest today is Louie Ortiz-Fonseca. He was born and raised in Philadelphia. His pronouns are he and they, and he is a queer, creative storyteller living with HIV. He is the creator of Gran Varones, a digital project that centers LGBTQ pop culture and history and community storytelling through a Black Latinx lens. Music and pop culture are integral to Louis' storytelling practice, serving both as inspiration and archival. We're not spreading the powerful gospel of patron of patron saint Mariah Carey. Let me say that again because I really love this. We're not spreading the powerful gospel of patron saint Mariah Carey. Louis hosts Kikis with Louie, a YouTube series created for and with LGBTQ youth. Louis is the father of a 23-year-old disabled son who loves hip hop. Welcome to In the Telling, Louis.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited and so humbled to be here.
Very
Well,
happy to have you.
yes, we are very excited to be in conversation with you today. And so, how we start things off always, Louis, is a little bit of grounding from you to talk about like who you are in your own words. Just tell us a little bit about who you are and where you come from.
Every time I always think I know how to answer this question, and I always have a different answer. But yeah, born and raised in North Philadelphia.
Mhm,
Had a mother who struggled with addiction up until her death 10 years ago. And I'm
Mm,
one of 7 sons that she had. I'm the oldest, so I moved through the
okay.
world very, like, trying to take care of everybody, but also worry that if someone messes up, I'm gonna get in trouble.
okay.
Okay. Okay.
I didn't go outside as much as a kid, so I stayed inside, right?
Mhm,
I was always out, whatever that meant, and
mhm.
my mom always knew that, so I think part of her protection for me was to keep me in the house. And
Oh,
because of that, I watch TV, right? I watch
Mm.
TV and MTV, so I have all these fun facts in my head because, like, I lived through what I saw on the screen, right?
Mm,
Mm,
Um
okay.
And that still informs it. All my jokes or my point of references are from there. Some people get them, some people don't, because some people
okay.
hide. Um, so it and but when I did find community, it was at a gay club on teen night at
Mhm,
Woody's. And that led me to a job as a peer youth educator and
mhm.
doing HIV prevention in the mid 1990s when like youth HIV prevention was coming into its own.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
and then because of that, I dropped out in the 7th grade because
Mm,
'cause going outside also meant having to go to school. So we kind of decided, let's just stay inside all day. Uh,
okay.
Mm, okay.
But because I got the job as a peer youth educator, I had the opportunity and the support of a mentor to go back to school to get my GED and then go to
Okay.
get my degree, my master's degree. And I have
Wow.
been doing, HIV prevention work and youth development work for almost 31 years. That is so wild for me to say because I'm 25.
Wow. I was
Um,
wondering, I was like, so you were doing this before you were born, right?
yes, yes, yes. Magic.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Magic. That is commitment. That is commitment. My mother
Tis.
literally birthed the revolution. Uh,
Love it.
and and then that, through that experience, I became a father,
Mhm,
and then, discovered that I was living with HIV,
mhm.
and that I know we'll probably get more into that, but like that, all those things shaped me because even when I tested
Mm,
positive, I was thinking about TV shows that I watched, right? So like
okay.
I'm
Yeah.
always constantly thinking about something that I watched or heard. So to meet me and to be in
Mhm.
conversation with me is to like be ready to talk about shows and pop culture. But that
Okay.
is a snapshot of who I
You
am.
mentioned that you have 7 brothers, so no sisters?
I have my sister was the oldest.
Okay,
She wasn't raised with us because my mother
Okay.
had
got it.
her when she was 13 and my
Okay.
grandmother raised her.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
So
Okay.
I'm the second
Mhm.
born, but I'm the oldest in the household.
Boy. Okay.
Yeah, and we have very different growing up experiences because she grew up as an only child because by the time that my grandmother was raising her, all her other kids were grown.
I
Mhm.
see, okay, okay.
Yeah, so
That makes sense.
she was so spoiled that my sister had a computer in 1985. What was
Wow,
Wow.
she gonna do
okay.
next? You know who had a computer in 1985? NASA and my sister.
I was about to s Love it. Love it.
Oh, man, I'd love to see what that computer looked like. Um,
I already imagined it. I was like, "It is big."
gotta be an
That's the
yeah, it's
one
gotta be
thing.
some
That
sort of
had that
Apple. It's
feature
gotta be
that
some
you
sort of
had to like
Apple.
do this
It's
on the side.
big.
Oh,
Yes.
what it
Yes.
yeah. Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then you mentioned so your last f for, like, grade school, your last formal grade was 7th grade? Or did you
Yes.
go to high school at all?
No, but they tried to put me into high school because they had to push me along, right? Because somebody was
Mhm.
Yeah.
get to. But I think what happened
Mm.
was when they were trying to move me or push me, or there's no better word to say but push because I had not gone to the eighth grade.
Mhm.
Um, we had to go pick up our records because this is like 93, 94. So things
Mhm.
weren't digitized yet. So you literally had to go to your school to get your education records, your
Right.
file, to take them to another school. We went and got them. And I think life happened and we never made it to the other school. So the file stayed like in the drawer where all bills
Oh.
and would go.
Yeah.
So I
Mhm.
essentially did not, it no longer existed within the education system.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
Wow.
That's incredible. Yeah, I've never heard of that because most of the time, people they'll end up, heck, at least having to file like homeschooling,
Mhm, mhm.
records, something like that in order to keep, the schools from hunting you down.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Right.
they will up until I think 11th grade. I think they're legally bound to be
I think
Yeah.
so.
right, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
something
think
like
they
Okay.
that.
did because we had the records. Like there was nothing to like pinpoint that I had not been in school.
Hmm.
Okay. Which is such a rich preamble, you describing
Yeah.
yourself. And so I'm very, because you and I spoke before, to talk about what you might talk about on the podcast. And so I'm very interested in which story you want to share with us today.
Um, I'm pretty open if you have a specific prompt. Um,
Well, one of the things we talked about was being a father, and all that entails. And so maybe you could take us back to when you discovered you were going to be a father.
I grew up because I was the oldest son, the oldest sibling in the household. It means I had to take care of my younger brothers, right?
Hmm.
Um, my mother was amazing, but like many other women on our block, she struggled with crack.
Mm,
And
Mm.
that put me in a position to like be the partner in the household to make sure that, we had food,
right.
negotiating how much money I would give her, right? Because she would give me her money to hold as a risk reduction tactic. And then
Hmm.
in the middle of the night, like, let me get 20 out of it. So I had to learn to negotiate, like, no, I'll give you 10. You said this. Um,
Hmm.
so when I became an adult, I was like, I had no desire to be a parent.
Mm. Mm.
Not because I had done
Hmm.
that with my brothers, right? So, like,
Yes.
Right.
I just had no desire, and then, you know, the universe is gonna do what the universe
Hmm.
do, and then when my son came into my life, everything changed. So it
Okay.
is like those Lifetime movies. It is like how people describe it, right? It's really cliche. And also
Mhm.
people like something switched, right? The world
Okay.
Mhm.
became bigger.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
I became smaller in the most amazing kind of way, right? I wasn't just trying to survive each day,
Mhm.
just me. Like it gave me something else to think about. And it was a different kind of love. I thought that
Right.
caring for
Mhm.
my brothers would be the same kind of love that care for my son. And some of it is, but it was profoundly different.
Right.
Okay.
And everything that I thought that mattered just did it. And I'm sure that we've heard this.
Mhm.
Magazines with celebrities have babies.
Mhm.
Um, I was part of my history is that I was a dancer and choreographer,
Okay.
and I no longer wanted to dance. I remember like one of my
Mm.
last shows for I forget the artist's name, but she was performing at Penn's Landing, I think Latino Day or something. And I remember counting the minutes I was away from my son.
Mm.
Like I was homesick. And
Mm.
I love dancing. I've always wanted to be a dancer. I watched the new Mickey Mouse Club growing up. That's all I wanted to do. Right. But
Mhm,
like now that
mhm.
I had this, it was like, now that I had my son, it was like, okay, we've been here 2 hours. When are we going on? Because I'm 2 hours away from my son.
Mhm, mhm.
Right.
And like that is how my world shifted when I had
Okay.
my son, right? It's like I did no longer wanted to dance, but also my political and advocacy became even more urgent.
Ooh, okay.
How old were you when you became a father?
My God, this was 2002. So I was like well into my 20s, right?
Okay.
Mhm.
Um, 2002. I'm just terrible at math. I was born in 76. My son was born October 2002. So I'm like maybe 26, 27.
So when your son came into your life, it sounds like this was something that you hadn't planned on as well.
No, had not planned on it at all.
Okay.
Okay.
No,
Can you tell us your son's name? We'd love to hear
Lamont.
his name. Lamont.
Lamont, his friends call him Monty. I call him
Mhm.
Doe.
Okay.
Aw.
Yes, if you're around family, like some people say Monty, but I've always called him Doe because his
Okay.
name that his mother gave him was Do Man,
Mhm.
Okay.
and did not like little boys being called man for
Mm.
Mm.
many reasons, but particularly having a young black son. So instead of
Mhm.
I would call him Doo Doo, because you
Mhm.
could call babies weird names when they're babies because they can't answer back.
They're like babies.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like in playing with him, I go doo 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 doo. The sound became
Mhm.
oo to o, and then it
Okay.
was dodo. And as he got older, it became do.
So it sounds like you learned to be a caretaker through, your relationship with your mother. But how did you sort of learn to become a father? Did you have any relationship with your own father? Did you model it?
Mm.
Or, are there other people in your life that sort of guided you through fatherhood? Or was it just something that you grew into and just became as you started to raise your son?
It definitely was something that I had to intentionally figure out because I
Okay.
did not have a father growing up.
Mhm.
I used to always tell my friends like I never had that hunger. Like I need somebody to throw me a ball. Um, and not
Okay.
that the hunger is not important. It's just it wasn't. I just never had it. And I'm
Okay.
sure there's
Yeah.
probably a self-defense mechanism, but, like, I never hungered for that
Mm.
kind of male presence in my life, right?
Okay.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that's why, like, I can call other women mom, but I've never called anybody daddy in any context.
Okay.
Okay.
Not in any context.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, and while I had women in my life, so, like, I the my parenting was very through a mother's lens, kind of mothering.
Mhm.
But the mothering that I was most familiar with was a mothering that was through the lens or through the context of addiction, and
Okay.
Mm,
in the '80s and '90s, right?
Mhm.
Um, which meant something inside the house, but it also meant something outside the house. So like I was always having to defend my mother by what other people said she was or wasn't. Right.
Okay.
So parenting for me was what I did, but also was very public. That like
Mhm.
the streets, the people, your family, those closest to you will judge you and measure your success as a human by how you.
Mhm.
And I'm
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
still figuring that out. I'm still trying to unlearn that stuff, right?
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
I like celebrating Christmas or celebrating birthdays. We didn't do that growing up, or even hugging,
Mm.
right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I knew how to negotiate, but I didn't want my son to figure out how to negotiate how I spend my money. Like, I wanted him to have a much softer life, but like
Mhm.
that's an
Mhm.
experience.
Right.
So, like, there were a lot of mistakes that I made in that intention of doing that. Like one thing that comes to mind is like, um, my mother was a fierce defender. While she did not hug or say, "I'm proud of you" a lot, she did whoop anybody's ass who tried to mess with me.
Okay. Mhm.
So like if a person teased me or hit me, she would go to their house and hit their mother for not teaching their son to not hit me and say,
Oh.
every
Okay.
time your son hits my son, I'm coming back over here to do that. That way everyone has an investment in making sure that I don't get hit.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
Okay. Mom was
Right.
fierce.
Like, like that is not how like that is how that was in me, regardless if I recognized it or not. And I remember one time I was dancing in my house and God said, "Look out your window." I looked out my window and saw that one of the boys, a much older boy, pushed my son. And I said, "Look at God. It has been a while since I saw," and he gave me this opportunity. And I remember I went outside and all of his friends said, "It wasn't me, it wasn't me, it wasn't me." And for the first time I saw that how I thought I was protecting my son and parenting my son had made all the other kids on my block afraid of me.
Mm.
And
Hmm.
that's not what I want. I can't, it goes against everything that I believe, the work that I do, that all young people deserve
Mhm.
safe.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And here I
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
in an effort to protect my son, I had become a kind of monster under the bed.
Right.
Wow, wow, wow.
And that
And
Mm.
you
shifted again, like I didn't know that until that moment. Before
Right.
that's
that,
a
it was like, I
really
will fight for my son no matter what. It was that
Mhm.
moment through the young people's eyes. It was like, oh, I can still defend my son, but something here is not working for the community.
Right.
Mhm, mhm. What's
Mm.
interesting, so when you said that, and I thought you went down like I had a few scenarios, but the main scenario was the main scenario was is that when I was growing up, we were afraid of adults. So we did have consequences essentially. And so what I love is how you turn that into something like, no, this isn't filtering the way, this isn't the thing. And then it shifts in you. And that's a really powerful kind of like father space to be in because you're looking at what you have to live the values, right? You have to live your own values and this can't stand. And so that's pretty powerful, man.
But also, like again, I saw my parenting through a woman's lens, right? Not
Right.
not like how other people saw me, right? So how
Right.
I
Mhm.
thought I was coming across like beautifully aggressive or passionately aggressive, like how I look
Mhm.
Right.
communicates something else, rather I'm aware or not. Like, and that was one of the moments I was like, oh, I think I'm the mother bear, but like they see a grown as man with a beard
Mhm.
who is chubby, who is tall, like that, all that came in that moment.
Mhm.
Like, oh, I gotta figure out how to parent my way.
Yeah. Did you
Powerful.
did you ever have or have you ever had any of these conversations with your son about what it has been like, um, you know, obviously being a father to
Mhm.
him and how, like how you learned it or how you've sort of evolved through it? Are these
Mhm.
are these conversations that you have with him? It might not be, but I'm just curious to know if this is also part of your relationship with him.
I wanna say we did a few times,
Mhm.
um, but that was when he was a teenager, like, he had definitely older. Because again, like, I did not know how to have those conversations. I regret
Mhm.
never having those conversations with my mother. Like, I really do not know
Okay.
what a lot of her dreams were because that just wasn't.
Mm. Mhm.
I now know that through my archival practice and storytelling, but back then
Yeah.
it was kinda like,
Mm.
it just I had
It didn't
absolutely
occur to you.
yeah, at all. And then even
Mhm.
parenting, being a father was like, it took so much work out of me, right? To be a father, to be queer, to be
Mhm.
living with HIV, um,
Mhm.
and then, like, trying, like, to, like, not attach my shame to his
Mm.
failure, right? Like,
Mm.
let all that took up so I now realize that took up so much energy
Mm. Mm.
to
Right.
sit down and have a conversation uh, about, like, what my experience was. I didn't have it in me.
Hmm.
So here's the thing, Louis. I was wondering now that you've aligned some of these things together, things that you were doing as a father, but also what fatherhood means to you, but also how you operate it, right? How did or does or if at all being HIV positive, because you touched on that a second ago, shape your fatherhoodness? Can you elaborate a little bit more on that? Because that was a really interesting point.
I laugh because these are some things I just these are things I talk about, but not in the same container, right?
Okay.
So
Mm.
this
Okay.
is one of the few times that I'm talking about it
Mhm.
in this kind of way. So I just want to be
Okay.
transparent about that, so that if
Thank
some
you.
things are not as eloquently explained, it's because like some of this is I'm merging stories and worlds that have never been merged before. I'm a very compartmentalized person.
Okay, okay.
Um, so when I tested HIV positive, it was because my life is a movie and a very special episode.
Okay.
Um, because I worked in the HIV field, I didn't feel safe going to a nonprofit to test it.
Okay.
Okay.
Seems so ridiculous to me now, but in
Mhm, mhm,
2009, that's where I was.
mhm,
Got it.
mhm.
Right. So my friend um, was an HIV tester and brought a test home.
Okay.
And one day I had just watched Commander in Chief starring Gina Davis, which was a show that ran for 2 seasons on ABC where she played the first woman president. And one of the episodes was
Mhm,
that her
mhm.
secretary of something was HIV positive, and that information was going to be used against her in the campaign.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mhm.
And um And I remember that shifted in me. I don't remember much of the storyline, but I remember thinking like, "Oh, like something about it shifted something in me."
Mhm, mhm,
And I said, "Oh," so that Friday I was like, "I gotta get tested. Like, I think I'm ready to get tested." So I was like, "You gotta come, bring it was a Thursday actually.
mhm.
And I got tested, and while I waited for the result, I was in my son's room watching him sleep and trying
Mm,
to imagine what the world would be like. Right? I'm
Mm.
one of those people who tries to prepare for disaster. Like I'll
mhm.
borrow disaster. You know what I mean? Like, give me
Yeah.
I need drama. Um,
So I can prepare, yes.
Yeah.
and I just try like just to imagine, like, okay, can I do this? Can I do that? And then I was thinking about all the people that I knew that were living with HIV for more than 20 years. So I was like
Mhm,
doing the
mhm.
math. I'm like, okay, well, I will at least get to see him graduate high school. Like I was already doing the
Mm,
math.
okay.
And then, the test came up reactive and everything that I thought I had prepped for had not. Like, even
Mm,
though doing this work and, I would give the messaging, like, if you take care of yourself, you can live a long, normal life. That thing that mattered to me, like the weight of time and mortality brought me to my knees.
Yeah.
Right. And I felt like I was in a race against time with my son.
mhm.
So that shaped like maybe the next 10 years of my
Okay.
parenting with all the other stuff that I'm trying to manage and learn. It was also like I got to make every moment count, and every moment has to be important, and especially curated. So when he tells the story about our lives, that it's not the same kind of story that I'm telling about my mom, or that
Okay.
Okay.
like it became a different kind of pressure.
Mm. Mhm,
Um,
mhm, mhm.
and like, who do I let this information? Who do I let in on this information? Not
Mhm.
because of my internalized HIV stigma. It was like, what he already has enough. Like I knew what it felt like to be a son of a mother who struggled with addiction and getting that shame.
Okay. Mhm.
Right. So it's like, okay, I know that he's getting some shame because I'm gay as hell and I wear shit like this to pick him up from school. Uh, so let me not give him something else. So he and I never
Okay.
had a conversation about my living with HIV.
Mm. Mhm.
Again, not out of shame. It was like you're young and black, and the world doesn't give you second chances. Like I'm gonna again trying to make the life as soft and as least stressful as possible. I now realize all the things that we lost in the fire by me doing that. But in the moment, it was like, again, this is what I knew to do.
Right.
Mhm.
And a lot of my parenting was kind of like piloting stuff. And so that is like how HIV like shaped it. It made it seem like I was in a in a race against time.
But
Okay.
he didn't know that because you never told him of your status.
Right,
Got it.
right.
Okay.
This is behind the counter talk, right? It's not.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay. When did you finally tell him?
I had still haven't told him. So it's like,
Oh,
when
what?
you're letting go, but it's, again, like, I don't want people watching this something. Again, like shame does show up and I have plenty of it, but not
Mhm.
in this, right? It's kind of, I've never like I kind of like been in it's an open secret for lack of a better term. Like I've done talks about me living with HIV. I post
Mhm.
about living with HIV.
Yeah.
Never like sat down and talked to my family about it. And I know that they followed,
Right.
right?
Right.
So
Oh,
Mhm.
we
very interesting.
so we
Very
never talked
interesting.
about it because we've never talked about it. Again, like
So
Mhm.
they
as
Mhm.
know, but they don't talk to you about it.
no. And
Right.
I think, and
Right.
I know that I know all the reasons why, I'll be 50 in November. And of course, that
Mhm.
comes with a lot of reflection. And, my father passed away from complications of AIDS. We never talked about
Mhm.
it.
Okay.
Um, my uncle and my uncle Jose, my aunt Blanca, my mother's brother and sister died of AIDS complications. And we never talked about it.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
wasn't like the family denied it. We all knew. It's just we never talked about it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
And even now we don't talk about it. Like we'll go through
So it's a
old
family
pictures.
history. That's a part of
Yeah.
your family. That's how you guys operate. Yeah.
Yep.
Hmm.
And it's, I was talking to my best friend who, right there, who now hangs his best friends with my niece.
Mariah Carey?
Oh no,
Which one?
Armand.
Which
Yeah,
one?
so that's all I'm gonna say. Armand Butler, I do GV with him. He's on the cover of here
Okay.
and he's best friends with my niece. Because me
Okay.
and her mother are best friends. She's my cousin, but I call her like my sister.
Mhm.
He has his own relationship with them, so I get to see my family through
Mhm.
his
His eyes.
eyes.
Yeah.
And that generation doesn't talk about stuff either.
Okay.
So I've seen it come from my mother to us and then to the generation after us. Like we just don't talk about it. We can sit and
Mm.
look at pictures of people who passed, but we'll glide over. It is for people who love to talk and gossip, it's amazing that we do this, right? But like that
Wow.
is kind of
Yeah.
that is the nature and the fabric of our family that I'm now trying to at least unravel a bit.
Mhm. Mhm.
Is this something that you are, I wouldn't necessarily say wrestling with, of like how to sort of have more open conversations, specifically talking about these things with your family members? Is this something, or your son, is it something that you are trying to navigate?
Yeah. I am, because, our family history goes to my grandmother. That's where it stops. That's where it begins and ends. Like,
Okay.
I don't know anyone before her
Mhm, mhm.
because we never talked about it. Right. So, and
Uh,
it goes back as far as my
m
grandmother. Like, so I don't know anything. I know she had a sister. I know she had
mhm,
a,
Okay.
mhm.
like, all the other
Maternal or paternal?
maternal.
Mhm.
Don't even get me talking about my father's family. Um, but like, so like, I don't like, I know even less about them.
Mhm.
But like, again, now I get it. Like, as we lose people in our family, and now that we're the oldest in the family, never thought like I like, because that's how small or how limited our family history is, that I am part of the oldest people in the family.
Right. Mhm, mhm.
And the knowledge and the historical stuff that I know dies with me if I don't say anything. It dies with my
Right.
cousins if we don't say anything.
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
And I don't want that for the next generations of our family. I want them to know that Blanca existed. I want them to
Mhm.
know that they existed,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right? I want them to know that, yes, AIDS ravaged our family, but look at how we survived,
Mhm.
Right.
right? But
Mhm.
like, but going against, but doing that with family norms that I still participate in is not easy.
When you said unraveling, I thought that was a really great word because I saw it as a slow process of
Mhm,
beginning to talk about things and to gauge how people were responding to it and maybe them adding their story about Blanca. Do you know what I mean? Like it
mhm,
sometimes it for folks like you, the way I see folks like you, you're stewards, you're helping people, cultural stewards, and you're doing this work, this larger work that has all these implications, and it has implications for your being a father, being a son, being in this
Yeah.
family. And sometimes that kind of work, you feel that urge, like you said, if you don't say anything, it dies with you, do you know? And doing the work that we talked about briefly before we got on this episode about zines. What would your zines look like, for your organization, but also what would a zine look like for your family?
mhm,
These kinds of sort of documents. And like I said, I'm a person who's interested. I want to read it. I want to think. I want to see how other people live. And your son might have questions. What's going on with the family? What do you know? And so it's really it's a powerful place to be in and to make kind of decisions about the narrative history. This as a storyteller, you know all this.
Yeah. And it's so
Hmm.
scary too when you're holding on to something that's a secret, not a secret. Like everybody in the room knows it.
The open secrets, yeah.
It's yeah, the open secrets. It's hard to, but nobody's
Hmm.
actually, yeah, verbalized it. Um
Hmm.
and it really is hard to sort of break that seal, but once you do, it is like a moment where people can kind of take a deep breath,
Hmm.
because it's a moment I think that a lot of people are waiting for, to be able
yeah,
to say it openly.
and there've been cracks. Like, there've been, like,
Okay.
moments where, my niece Sadie, tried to, like, break it, right?
Okay.
'Cause
Mm.
right after I think one of the first visits I had to Philly was, like, after I got, my vaccination. So it was, like, sometime in late 2021, might have been, like, Christmas 2021,
Hmm.
and, my cousin's mother had passed away the year before, and she had all these photo books, and I didn't know
Mm. Oh.
that my Aunt Carmen had been doing the archive,
Oh,
Mm.
yeah.
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So I was like,
Yeah.
"Well, I'm coming to," like, so my family knows it. They're like, "Hey, we have all these pictures. You're gonna wanna see them." That's what I said. It's so weird that we love to talk about them, but, like, even in that, how we skip over a lot of things,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but I think it's us, like, just all just trying to take tiny steps to doing that.
Yeah.
And then I go
Hmm.
there, and they're all
Sticking toes in,
yes.
feeling it
Pulling them
out.
out. Yeah.
There are pictures of my grandmother who was very young, and, they let me know, they said, "Yeah, mommy told us that, grandmom's parents, her father died no, her mother died when she was very young, and her father married someone, and who treated grandmom and called her the N word. Um,
Mm.
Mm.
and then I made the connection to how my mother described how she was treated by my grandmother.
Oh, okay.
Like I got it.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
I said,
Right.
oh, because my mother would say the same thing.
Mhm, mhm.
So like a different kind of grace I started to feel for my grandmother, the one who was a monster to me, because I didn't
Mhm.
know all of that backstory. But also I hadn't like
Mhm.
made the connection that, oh, she also did take care of us when my mother was like couldn't take care of us. And I'm sure that there was some resentment. And I'm sure that resentment was like why we were treated the way we were. I don't agree with it, but at least I got a string of the story. And it was through those pictures that I got that.
Okay.
My
Mm.
Sadie, my niece, is taking me to the hotel where I was staying, and I'm in the back seat. She's in the front seat with her partner. And she's like, Louis, it's dark. I can only hear her. You know how it is to be in a car. And she says,
Mhm.
are you able to get your treatment with all everything being shut down? Like, how was that? Were you able to like go to get your HIV
Mm.
treatment and like see? And I'm just like, first of all, I'm like, it felt like she was breaking, like talking to what do they call that when the person talks to the camera? Breaking the
Fourth
third.
wall. Fourth wall.
It's like,
Mhm.
okay, well, like it was like hey, you're breaking this unspoken agreement. Like I know
Right.
the
Yeah.
truth,
Yes.
right? But we unspokenly agree that we would never talk about it. So it
Yeah.
was in that
Mhm.
moment, I'm like, oh, there is do I wish that do I wish that she had not mentioned that in front of her partner? Yeah, because he's cool with, but I don't want to share that with him. But I also get the why that happened because of all the pictures and the conversations we were just happening. And I
Mhm.
think that, so I saw that as like, okay, I think we may be moving into a
Mm.
different
A different
kind of
realm.
direction. And of course, it's
Mhm.
Mhm.
always going to be led by the youngest person in the room. Um,
And she cared about you. You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
the thrust of it, the care, I love that, you know?
I was like, yeah, I've been able to manage it. Thank you. We can make enough money.
Wow. Wow, beloved. Wow.
Okay.
But the question I
So
have for
nice. So nice.
you, um, sort of slightly, it's some of the questions I sent you earlier around, and it's a slight turn in terms of informing your life, music informing your life, and how it's important to you. It's important to your child, to Lamont, and I kind of want to dip into your patron saint of Mariah Carey moments, and just how music has kind of maybe shaped you as a father, if that's a question, you know.
Oh, yeah. You know, my son knew who Jody Watley was when he was 3. That is how I know I was.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
and, I grew up, my mother loved music and would
Mhm.
play it with her friends, every Sunday. I mean, I thought it was weird that they would play the oldies and then that's who I am now. Now I get it. Now I
Mhm.
get it, mom. So music again, like shaped who I was. Like that is how I was able to figure out who I was, what I thought about particular issues
Mhm.
before the advent of social media. Like it was
Mhm.
Salt and Peppers, let's talk about AIDS. Like all those like kind of different mediums informed me about like what I believe, who I am, how I should feel about myself,
Mhm, mhm.
um, how I value friendships, right? I don't have many nightmare stories about relationships or friendships. And I like
Okay.
to think it's because I learned that
Mm.
through music, right? Like,
Hmm.
Wow.
so like, yeah, I've had a nightmare kind of life in some aspects, but
Mhm.
but not with friends or men that I dated,
You
right?
got me
Hmm.
thinking of
Um,
Friends by Jody Watley now that you mentioned her and
yes.
Rakim. Friends, I was like, "Okay, okay, this is really powerful, dude." Yeah, yeah.
And even like, what about your friends about TLC? Like, I heard other people talk about their friends that way. I just
Mhm.
never, and because I enjoy
Hmm.
the company of my own stuff, if I don't feel like, if I feel icky about somebody or somebody makes me feel icky, I can go back to my room and play my music.
Right.
That is what
Mm.
I did as a teen. That's what I did as an adult. Um, and my son was the same kind of way.
Mm.
Um,
Mhm,
so like
mhm,
music was always in the house. And then
mhm.
as he
Mhm.
got older, I would hear the music that he would play and become the stereotypical adult, like, what the hell is that?
No more
um,
Joey Watley.
yeah, no, like play Tony Wally. He was actually the one who got me liking Lady Gaga. I didn't get her in the beginning, but he, as a young person, got her, and because he got, I
Okay,
was like, "Okay, I'll give her a chance."
okay.
Um, and it still continues to, like he in on May 31st was in a motor vehicle accident and
Oh.
suffered a traumatic brain injury, and we're still healing from that.
Okay.
And
Oh, I'm
there were
sorry.
moments, um, and going back to like parents, I remember like feeling that was such a kind of failure. Like, how did I let this happen to my son? Um, I know that it wasn't my fault, but again, like girl, like why? Like because my mother was always judged by because who she was at like that like instantly came on. I'm like, how do I tell people that this happened to my son? How do I tell them like I left
Mm.
the house and I wasn't there to stop him from getting on the bike, right? On
Mm.
Mhm.
Vespa. Um, and I think for like almost a year, I wasn't sure what was going to happen.
Mhm,
Yeah.
Right. I
mhm.
knew our lives had changed.
Irrevocably,
Right.
Right.
yes.
So it was
Mhm.
kind of
Right.
like my only mission was just to hold on. That was
Mm.
my only
Mm.
mission. I said, all you got to do is hold on. Everything else we can plan later, but I just need you to hold on right now.
Mhm.
And, he was in a coma for like a month
Wow.
and trying to like, so again, everything changed, but when he was in the coma, his friends, his
Mm.
girlfriend at the time, we would play music in the room.
Okay. Mhm.
Right. I remember it was SZA's what is that song from 2023? It's not, is this news?
I couldn't tell you.
I
Mhm.
think it may be Snooze because it was the last
Okay.
song he played for me when we were in the car a week before the accident. And he said he likes
Mhm.
the way this song makes him feel.
Oh,
Hmm.
wow, nice.
And I was like, oh, yeah, it's kind of like easy, breezy, beautiful cover girl. Um,
TV,
and I knew that
yes.
when he was like, when the personality was emerging again from him, like after, because he would have to have a couple of surgeries, um, he wanted headphones to listen to music. He wasn't yet talking, but like what brought him joy or his journey to come back to me was listening to music.
Music. Yeah.
Mm,
Hmm.
It's only now that I realize like how that all connects because
yeah.
Right.
music is just like breathing. Like it's like, yeah, you have food
Mhm,
here, you have a lamp, you gotta have a socket to plug it in. Like that is
mhm,
how it was. It's only now through this conversation I'm like, oh, I get like how much of a how it's like how much of a fabric it is in our lives.
mhm.
Right.
And even now, like he talks some, but we do talk a lot about music, right?
Mm,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So like I think when we don't
It's
have
the
any other
core.
language, yeah, it is.
Mm,
It's
Yeah.
a constant.
Right.
yes.
It's a place for us to land.
Right.
Love it, love it.
Hmm. And your son, he's still
Mm,
healing?
Yes,
Okay.
it's going to be a long journey, but I think what I've learned and relearned from this is a kind of patience.
mm,
Um, and it kind of reminds me of, or it harkens me to when he was a baby,
Yeah.
right? Like I need to get back to him. Like that kind of gets lost in the hustle and bustle as you get older.
mhm,
And like you're like, don't do that because I do not want to have to call out of work to come
mhm.
get you because then I'm gonna lose my job. And I did not work this hard to get this job so that we can live here. Right.
Yeah.
Life becomes kind of that, like trying to maintain. um, the safety that I wanted him to have. So all of the moments weren't as tender as as it was when he was 1 and 2, right? You're ever
Mhm.
present,
Mhm.
right? Like you believe in the universe. You're like kind of like a new love, and it kind of feels
Mhm.
like that now.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and loving him unconditionally, which again, is something that I've had to painfully learn as a kid growing up with a mother struggling with addiction, right? Because I would
Mhm.
see years, but there was no me having to judge her wouldn't help because the rest of the world was judging her. So the revolutionary thing for me to do was to defend her.
Right.
Mm. Mhm.
And that's where I am with my son. It was like, yeah, like nothing is ever the same.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I gotta find, or I am finding a way for it to be okay.
Yeah.
Right. And be
Right.
in the moment with him and not think about, well, this is what we could have had. This is what it should have been. This is what was rightfully ours because of our history. And that again, that takes the same kind of effort that it took for me that distracted me from doing a lot of the things that I wish I did with him.
Mhm.
But now I'm aware of that. And the effort is to stay intentionally connected to him and not so much of the outside noise.
Mm. Okay. And
I
it sounds like you're doing that, and then he probably feels that.
Yeah, that is my hope. I feel like I am, it's always a reset every day, every weekend, because we see
Mhm.
him every weekend because I am in the DMV and he's in Philly. Because that was the
Mhm.
best
Oh, okay.
yeah. That we
Okay.
and because there were more family in Philly, and wanted to make it as accessible for other folks to visit him as well.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So I was
Okay.
thinking about community.
It always comes back to community, brother. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
your intentionality is really inspiring. It's really beautiful to hear.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that with us. It definitely, it sounds painful, but it sounds very hopeful as well.
Oh, very much so. Um,
Mhm.
it's not something that, I think going back to like unraveling stuff, it's required me to talk about it. Like I
Mhm,
remember
Right.
the
mhm,
first 6 months, my friends, again, in an effort to protect me, like, because I was like, I think I got to put a statement out on Facebook because I feel like I'm not that I'm a celebrity, but people were like, hey, what? I haven't seen you post. What's going on?
mhm,
And I
mhm,
did want to continue to have that conversation with every time I ran into someone. It was like,
mhm,
well,
mhm.
how can I put it out there for everyone in my life to know? That way I'm not, so when they say, how's your son? I'm not going into the story again. They can say, how's
Right.
your son doing? And then I can pick up where the story is, if that makes
Right.
sense.
No,
Right.
completely makes sense. Absolutely. And
Mhm.
it helps you if
Mhm.
because the way you describe it and you talk about the story, it sounds like you've lived in it in a different way than say someone who has put up the walls, and they can't like really get through that. They're like, no, this is my life. This is my son's life. We're here, present and presently, so there's something
Yeah.
again, I'm just really inspired and just thank you for
Yeah.
sharing this story because it's such an amazing story, really. You
Yeah, and I
know.
hope that anybody who ever is going through something similar, like what has helped, again, is talking about it on my own terms.
Mm,
And most importantly for
mhm,
me, it's because I watched my mother not talk about my brother's death. I watched, my family not talk about Blanca or Jose's death, right?
mhm,
Right.
And I didn't want that.
Right.
I did not want that. Like, so like I give updates to all my friends via text when I visit him.
mhm,
Um, right. And again, that also makes me feel like I'm not alone in this
Right.
experience because that
mhm.
can, the Sagittarius in me wants to be like, y'all can't do this right. So I got to do it. Right. So it does take a different kind of
Amazing.
vulnerability to do that. And I think because of that, that I'm able to have this conversation with you. I don't think there's been a recorded conversation
Mm,
about me talking about my son, right? I haven't
mhm.
I've
Mhm.
been really intentional about like who I share it with. Um, and it's been amazing. So like when I do run into people, they say, how's your son doing? right? So it's not
Right.
something that I'm hiding. The first 6 months felt like it was something that I was hiding because I wasn't sure how to.
Mhm.
So if I ran
Right.
into people, go, "He's great, we're managing day by day," and I felt shame creeping in.
Yeah.
Mm.
I have to figure
Mm.
out, like,
Mhm.
this is not what I want, but, like, I have to, like, I can create the narrative for this experience. It doesn't have to be like how it's always been in my family.
Right. And I feel like people always want to support us when these things happen. They don't always know
Mhm.
how either, right? They're also trying to figure out the words and the things to say and like how to show up.
Mhm.
But the more that we can open up and be vulnerable in those spaces, you find that people will be around you and throw their arms around you in the ways
Mhm.
that they can. And it's needed, especially when you're going through something really hard.
Right. It's you've yeah, I'm just echoing what you both said. I was thinking about this notion of storytelling. Storytelling is always call and response, and it's always
Mhm.
a matter of listening to what Louis is
Yeah.
going through, and someone coming through, like you said, Miranda. They may not know how to say what to say, or how to say it, or offer support, but the people that love you are going to show up in the way they show up, and that can be immensely, like you said. You're not. This is not. You're in that
You're
story
not
together,
alone.
you
Right.
know and so that's yes, this is beautiful.
You have a really powerful story overall, though, Louis. It's been great being in conversation with you. It
Mhm.
has been really, yeah, it's been really profound. And definitely, again, thank you for being open and being vulnerable with us today.
And
Any, oh,
hilarious. Very
and
hilarious.
hilarious
I'm like,
and
you are so
and
like
very colorful.
I was like picking up the TV references. I was like, Louis, you're younger than me, but I watched the same shows you did. So yes. But I was just thank you for that humor is a healing for me. I love humor, and I consider myself a trickster. I love humor. I just need to laugh.
Yeah.
So just thank you.
Um, yeah. Anything you want to leave us with today? Leave us or our
Um,
listeners? Final
uh,
thoughts?
I guess I, in the essence or in concert with the conversation we've been having, have that conversation with a family member, your best friend, right? I do believe that we are
Mhm.
all libraries burning, right? Like
Yeah.
we are all having stories that only we can tell, right? And when we're gone, they go with us. I'm trying to make as many opportunities to learn more intentionally about all the people in my life,
Mhm,
and
mhm,
want people to know my story so that when I'm no longer here, they can speak my name in all of the
Mhm.
ways that they
mhm,
can. Um,
mm,
and I hope to
mm.
be able to do the same for my friends and family. So that would be my invitation. It's nothing to master, right? It's something that you may fumble because I fumble all the time. Um, but like even during long drives with my son's other parent, like, and I've known them forever, we find out new stuff about each other, right?
Right.
Nice.
We haven't been together in decades, but like even through our journey through this very painful and healing experience, we're finding different things out. So I would invite people to do that, and
Mhm.
and all of the glorious things that come with that, because our family history is important.
Yeah.
Whew, did you just say we are all libraries burning? Did you say that, or did I make that
Yeah.
up?
No, no, I heard that at
Mm, mm,
someone told that to me about what storytelling is.
mm,
Like to think
Hmm.
about it as a kind of urgency, but not like, yeah, like it's something to, like, if you love libraries, then everyone is a library burning. Think about your family members that kind of way. Like, what
mm,
would you do with all of the books
mm,
that are in that
Yeah.
library? Don't think of it
mm,
as the library's right there, because then you think, I'll go there whenever. I'll go there next Saturday. Oh, I'll go there next summer. And then
mhm,
it's not.
Right.
Um, so yeah,
I'll have
so
this
like,
conversation with her another day.
yeah.
mhm.
Right.
There may not be another
That's
day. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, incredible. Yeah, I like that. Libraries burning. We might have to title the episode that.
I already, I've been writing down titles since you've been talking, Louie. I'm like, okay. Intentionally connect. Yeah. So you threw out a few good ones. Thank you. Hey everyone, are you interested in archives but don't know where to start? Well, maybe you will enjoy NAP's Kickback. Every other Tuesday, Miranda and I, and sometimes with special guests, have a conversation over a live stream about the basics of archives in a relaxed space. You should check us out. Previous live streams of NAP Kickbacks are now available on our YouTube channel, Nomadic Archivist. Join us every other Tuesday to be in community with us. This is also where you can find this and previous seasons of In the Telling. For more information about NAP, sign up for our newsletter, go to our website at nomadicarchivistproject.com.